Hello? Hello. 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 Alrighty. We are going to get started here. Um. They're all active. Desktop audio. Enter off. Desktop audio monitor off. Turn that down just a tad. Not up, down. Thank you. Come on. Is that better? That's better. Yep, that's better. Down just a bit more. No, I don't want to go up. I want to go down. Yes, there we go. There we go. There we go. Turn that down. Just a tad. There we go. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Stop recording. I'm not going to stop recording. We are going to be world building today. If I can get the stream to work, that is. Store. Gonna pause that. Because I don't feel like getting copyrighted today. I would use music in my videos, but all the music I use isn't good for streams. I know for a fact it isn't, because it's a bunch of music I've gathered into a private playlist for me to listen to while world building on my free time when I'm not streaming. So that's the thing. But I can't play it while I'm world building. So yeah. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That is adorable. Absolutely adorable. What's this? I'm gonna save that Shintai and Shintai ambience and back. Haunted castle. Oh my god, that samurai armor looks dope as frick. Corgi nurse. Corgi nurse. Haha. Corgi nurse. Is that a puppy face sticking out of his pocket? That is adorable. Let's see here. So, we are going to, well, for now, this is a speculative biology project. I know nothing about speculative biology. It's just something I'm doing for fun. It's called Xenomachina, the living machine ecosystems of the menagerie. The menagerie is a fictional faster than light travel network built into the very ecosystems of the worlds within the menagerie. What the menagerie is essentially a collection of stars, which are all interconnected by the mycelium of an alien synthetic life fungus. It's an alien synthetic fungal life form that essentially has woven itself into the very fabric of space-time and has essentially started growing its mycelium across the stars, across the galaxy, and it may even reach to other galaxies in the various directions that its mycelium are growing out in. It's not confirmed, and I will not confirm that, but I will say it might have. And I may expand upon that at a later date. Until then, the machine ecosystems are strictly limited to the menagerie, and yeah, it's interesting. I'll expand on this more later. How did this get... 1A 16. One B, all of you to go like Istokte. There we go. Oxygen levels. I'm gonna correct that. Oxygen. There we go. There we go. Now it's fixed. Any other spelling mistakes? There are. Yeah, this whole thing with multi-layered elliptical time signatures within the rhythmic structure of the music play that seems to be being broadcast from the parent star of the system the colonists are in. That's a thing! That's a thing. Let's just say this. The menagerie is a pretty frickin' metal place. And I am going to increase that to 30. This will be that will be 28. There we go. And then Xenomachina will be bold. There we go. It's done. The living machine ecosystems of the menagerie. Now, the world that the world that we're currently focusing on as of this story of the Amaterasu system. The world that we're currently focusing on that orbits Amaterasu is Nawasa. I will get back to that and do a video on this whole lore dump later. But to put it simply, the atmosphere is a mix of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, xenon, methane, ammonia, and hydrogen. However, the atmosphere is primarily nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, xenon, and methane. There's also a lot of hydrogen in the atmosphere, but I digress. So yeah, the atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and methane. Xenon is slightly higher than ammonia, and then trace other elements, of course. I'm going to go to the primary world building project we are working on here, which is, where are you, Myths and Mortals? Myths and Mortals. So, yeah. This is Myths and Mortals Galaxy. This is just a little lore dump. Almacen, she Athel Zud. Almacen, she Athel Jude. Welcome, you welcome to our inner sanctum. You wish to speak with us, no? You are a deitologist, we assume. Well, an amateur one, to be honest. But, nonetheless, a young deitologist who has just had an extreme bout of good luck, and is very excited to actually be talking to a divine spirit. I have so many questions. Theories, however. I have so many questions, so many theories. However, no previous documentation of legitimate encounters with such a divine entity had been written down by ancient civilizations during the Genetic era. So I am actually about to be the first to document such an encounter. It's a most exciting day that will go down in history. Well, you do seem brave, walking into a Teidrami den and casually striking up a conversation like you own the place is a very good way to end up dead, cursed with lycanthropy, or worse. However, we will humor you. What do you need to document about this encounter? That's the lowercase s. The temperature in the room. The temperature in the den drops by several degrees as the Tedrami, that's an old term. I'm going to place that with Ryu as the Ryudric Lord, as the Ryudric Lord, a fox with 12 tails and bright red fur with patches of blue bioluminescent algae growing on its fur coat, exhales a blue wisp of flames, small but bright and somewhat unsettling to the young theology major. And that is just a tad bit of lore. That's just a tad bit of lore, a small little bit of a hint of what the world may be like. It's just a small bit of conjecture there, or whatever the word is. I'm not sure if it's conjecture or what the word I should be using is. Oof. Yeah. So, we are going to be jumping into this. Located in the Orion arm of the Anadraji Rotalashi, and Rotalashi will be replaced with Xi, so Rotalaxi, Anadraji Rotalaxi, because I originally was using the X to make the sound KS. Then I decided the X in Godun should make the sound sh. So sh it is. So KS will be used to represent the X, the sound that X normally makes in English. So Rotalaxi. Our home galaxy in an alternate universe exists an alternate Earth by the name of Xintai. Orbiting around a triple sun by the names of Yawanaki, the largest sun of the whole of holy golden light magic, and blue light holy golden light magic, blue light and portal, and of course portal to the Ryudric plane of Yawana, home of Yawanin, Ryudric emperor of light, peace, and hope. Awen, the second sun. The second being the second being Awen Kali, son of green light, son of green life energy, and portal to the Ryudric plane of Awanin, home of Awenala. Ryudric empress of light, of life, death, and reincarnation. She is often called Mother Nature, Awena. Awena is often called Mother Nature, Awena, by the Navashi. Finally, a third smallest son of Red Light, Ubirax, not Ubirax, Ubirash, and the portal to the home of the Ryujic Lord of Honor, Justice, and Valor, Ubing Raka. Yeah, Ubing Raka. His planar realm, the gilded city of Rakashang Babwa, pronounced pronounce I think that's how you spell it. It's the I think that's how you would spell it. It's definitely not the upside down R, which makes a R sound, so I guess it would be R. So, which is pronounced, which is with Rakashang Babra, which is obviously pronounced Raka, 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 which is pronounced Raka, Shang, Ba, Bua, or Ba Bua is how it would be pronounced. So Ba Bua. Translation: Gilded Gardens of Infinity. The Yawana system has 42 major planets, 876 dwarf planets, as well as countless smaller rocky and icy celestial bodies orbiting the parent stars. Eight of the 42 worlds are terrestrial worlds. 4 of said terrestrial planets are super Earths. Xintai is 10 times the size of Earth, and is comparable to Earth in terms of the direction of evolution. In terms of the direction evolution has taken. However, humanity is made up of a vast menagerie of different races, all sharing Shin-tai. A kind is a taxonomic family of closely related races of humanity. Evolutionarily speaking, keep in mind that due to the way genetics works in the Myths and Mortals universe, allows races to distantly and distinctly diverge from each other, or in the case of beast races, very anatomically divergent, to interbreed with few or very minor complications. Few and or very minor complications. Thus an orc can interbreed with a Volpaki, and that's just the beginning of the practice of hybridism amongst the humankinds. The races of Nephilic, aka the hominin kind, the races of Nephilic, aka hominin kind, the Romani, a mix between Kelton, Eurozen, and Norshuka. The Romani are known for the glorious history of the United Roman Republic and their ability to explain scientific, and arcane phenomena in a simple and easy to understand manner. Romani tend to be well educated. A number of Romani generals were brilliant tacticians, including the legendary general Titus Alexandri, Alexandri, yeah, including the legendary general Titus Alexandri Ninguavi. No, Titus Alexandri. Yeah, yeah, there's a period there, so it wouldn't continue to Ninguavi. So I would want to hit enter there, just to put space between those, obviously. There we go. And then that. And then that. And then that. And then that. So yeah, these are just brief expansions on some of the races. The Ninguavi, I will explain them in due time, but the Ninguavi are 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 basically a group of races of baseline humanity that that are quite literally borderline elven, but not quite elven. Keyword borderline elven, which means they're not true elves, despite their ever so slightly pointed ears, but they are close enough to the elven races of humanity that one could get them mixed up for them. The Ninguavi also, to make things even more confusing, the Ninguavi also primarily live in Romagua. Romagua is a separate nation from Rome itself. We'll get into that later, but Romagua is basically the homeland of the High Elves. So yeah. Then there's the Ajut. The Ajut are interesting. The Ajut are basically the Ajut are basically borderline Orcish. The Hindango are basically borderline Dwarven. So yeah. And then there are the Keltong who look like a mix between borderline Elvish and Orcish traits. Eurozen who look like a mix between borderline Asian European individuals. So yes, they have traits of both Asians and Europeans. They make up the basis of the population of the nation of Europea. The Norshuka basically are elf-like individuals that are borderline dwarf, elf-like individuals that are borderline dwarven. In other words, they're elf-like and dwarf-like, but not quite elves and not quite dwarves. They're neither really. Then there's the Arctai, who are, let's see here, Hindango are borderline dwarven. No, wait, the Hindango would have to be borderline elvish and orcish. Yeah, cause then the Arctai would be borderline dwarven and orcish. So that would be the difference. The Arcti are borderline Dwarven and Orcish. The Shangili, the Shangili, the Shangili and the Navash, the Shangili are typically considered to be human, but 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 they don't really fall under any particular category of racial category. If 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 in, if in, if anything if anything they if anything they al- they almost if anything they almost seem they almost seem to be they almost and if anything they almost seem they, they almost seem to be borderline elven and dwarven. The Hindongo, the Hindongo are basically borderline elven and orcish, and yeah, the Arcti are borderline dwarven and orcish. So these guys would be borderline elven and dwarven. Shangili would. So they'd have qualities of dwarves and elves, but would rather be neither. These guys would have qualities of dwarves and orcs, but would be neither. These guys would have qualities um of would have predominantly qualities of orcs. Would have predominantly look more like orcs, but have qualities of dwarves. Whilst these guys would look primarily like dwarves, but have qualities of orcs. Of course, the Hindongo would primarily look like elves, but would have qualities, but would have, but would have, but would help, but would have qualities of dwarves. I guess would be more accurate. Yeah, they'd have qualities these guys would have primarily have qualities of elves, but would have would also have dwarven qualities. They'd look primarily like elves and have dwarven qualities. And then the Shangili would have primarily dwarven qualities. No, the Hindongo would have primarily dwarven qualities. Yes, the Hindongo would have primarily dwarven qualities. Dwarf like. Dwarf like. But with dwarf like, but with an elven with an elf like build. Hindongo. Elf like but with a dwarven build. Of course, these guys would be orc, dwarf, orc, orc Orc-like. Orc-like. Orc. Orc. Orc-like. Orc. Orc-like. The Orc. The Orc. Orc-like. Orc. There we go. Orc. Orc-like. Orc-like. But with a Orc-like, but with a dwarven build. They're gonna have more of an appearance of orcs, but they're gonna be shorter. The dwarven build provides the archetype with a fair amount of chub, and I quote, fair amount of chub is what keeps them warm in the cold weathers of the Arctic regions of the planet. And of course, there are the, let's see here, dwarven build, Shuka. Dwarf. Like. Dwarf-like build. Orc. Dwarf. Like. But with an or orc like orc like build. Orc are just basically really big bulky orcs. The Orc are basically orcs from basically similar to the orcs of World of Warcraft. They are big, muscular, and fucking scary. But if you're lucky enough, and if you're lucky enough, and they actually like you, and they actually like you having your presence around, then they will respect you, basically. They will respect you, basically. The Euros then are they have They have. They have. They have. They have. Let's see here. The ability to shape to shape take shape shift into like throat lycanthropes. Zoo and the zoanthropes actually, because they can be of they can be of almost any species. Zoanthropes. Zoanthropes. Oh, wonderful. I don't want them to be named after zoanthropes. I want them to be zoanthropes. So, fuck you. Rather name them zoanthropes, I'm gonna go add the personal dictionary. Zoanthropes. They're called zoanthropes. Shapeshift into zoanthropes. Transform into zoanthropes. Thus, thus, at will, and thus can be and anthropomorphic 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 fox lion hyena or any other anthropecies. Any other anthro species. their species is decided by genetics. Species decided by genetics. Decided by genetics. If a child has parents of two different species, then the child will be a hybrid. Will be a hybrid. Will be a hybrid. Certain animal features such as tails, ears, and tails, ears, tails, ears, and or horns may be present may be present in human present in human form, ears, and or horns may be present in form. 1 minute. I will be right back. I'm going to cut this video short, and then I will upload it later. So yeah, love y'all. See you later. I will be back. I will record again in a bit. So I will see y'all later.